The distress beacon had been transmitting for 72 hours before the Galactic Council detected it. The signal originated from Kepler 442b, a mining colony operated by the Xanthari, a peaceful species of crystalline beings who had never known war in their 14,000-year history. Jassy-chan stood at the viewport of the UNS Retribution, her reflection ghosting over the star field beyond. Her combat exosuit hummed softly, its neural interface already synced to her brainwaves. At 26, she'd seen more warfare than most Council species experienced in their entire evolutionary history. Reading approximately 400 hostile signatures on the surface, announced Daniel Okonkwo from the tactical station. His dark eyes scanned holographic displays that would have overwhelmed any non-human operator with their information density. Looks like KR Thak raiders. They've enslaved about 2,000 Xanthari and stripped half the iridium reserves. The bridge of the Retribution was cramped by Council standards, designed for Earth's punishing 1G gravity, which made it feel like a trash compactor to visiting aliens. But humans didn't build ships for comfort. They built them to survive. The Council sent their peacekeeping fleet 3 days ago, Jassy said, pulling up the tactical data. What happened to them? Destroyed. Daniel's jaw tightened. All 12 ships. The KR Thak are using weaponized singularity charges, banned tech. The Council enforcers' shields couldn't handle the gravitational shear. Jassy felt that familiar cold rage settling into her bones. When humanity had finally achieved faster-than-light travel 15 years ago, they'd found a galaxy that had forgotten how to fight. 10,000 civilizations, all evolved on gentle worlds under stable stars, protected by automated defense grids that hadn't faced real threats in millennia. Then species like the KR Thak had emerged from the galactic rim, raiders from harsh worlds, wielding weapons the Council had banned themselves from using centuries ago. And the Council, in their infinite wisdom, had called Earth the Death World, the planet that had forged its dominant species in ice ages, predator competition, and the constant threat of extinction. Initiate Combat Protocol Ragnarok, Jassy ordered. Full deployment. No survivors among the raiders. The ship's AI, a human creation that terrified Council observers, began calculating firing solutions at speeds that would have seemed like precognition to lesser computers. 90 minutes later, Jassy's boots hit Kepler 442b's rust-colored soil, with Daniel and 40 other operators beside her. The planet's 0.6G gravity made them move like ghosts, fast, efficient, deadly. The Xanthari mining complex was a crystalline structure that caught the orange light of Kepler 442's star. Black smoke rose from several sections where the KR Thak had bombarded it into submission. Hostiles concentrated in the central compound, Daniel reported, his exosuit sensor array painting targets through walls. They're using the Xanthari as shields. A rookie mistake. The KR Thak didn't understand what they were dealing with. Jassy activated the company-wide comm. Remember, the Xanthari can't process rapid movement the way we can. Everything we do will look like supernatural speed to them. Minimize collateral damage. Precision over power. The human operators moved in. What happened next would become legend across Council space. The Xanthari, whose neural processing operated at 1/10 the speed of human cognition, could barely perceive the rescue operation. To their crystalline senses, it appeared as if vengeful spirits materialized from nowhere. Jassy moved through the compound like water, her exosuit's strength amplification turning her into a force of nature. A KR Thak warrior, 3 meters of armored chitin and battle-scarred fury, raised a plasma rifle in her direction. She closed the 30-meter distance in 1.4 seconds, her combat blade superheating to 2000 Kelvin as it severed the weapon's power cell. The resulting explosion consumed the raider before he could process her movement. Daniel operated from an elevated position, his railgun delivering hypersonic tungsten penetrators with inhuman accuracy. Each shot calculated for maximum efficiency, through armor joints, into ammunition stores, collapsing structural supports to trap raiders without harming captives. The human advantage wasn't just physical. It was cognitive. Millions of years of evolution dodging predators, hunting prey, and waging war against each other had created brains that processed violence with terrible efficiency. Within 17 minutes, the compound was secure, The Zinthri elder Crystallis approached Jassy with the slow, deliberate movements of his kind. His translator struggled to convey his species' harmonic language into something humans could understand. You moved, like death itself, Crystallis said, his crystalline structure refracting light in patterns that indicated deep distress. We called for help. We received demons. Jassy removed her helmet, letting her sweat-dampened hair fall around her shoulders. We're not demons. We're from a planet that tried to kill us for 3 million years. We learned to be fast, to be ruthless, to survive. The Council speaks of Earth with fear, Crystallis said. They say your world is a death trap. Predators everywhere. Diseases. Geological instability. Radiation exposure. How does any species evolve in such horror? Daniel joined them, scanning the freed Zinthri for injuries. We didn't just evolve in it. We conquered it. Every disaster made us stronger. Every predator taught us to hunt better. Every war showed us new ways to survive. The Kr'Thak will return, Crystallis warned. They always do. They'll bring more ships, more weapons. Jassy's smile held no warmth. Good. Let them come. Let every raider in the galaxy know what happens when they attack species under Council protection. They want to fight. They've spent 10,000 years raiding civilizations that forgot how to wage war. She gestured to the sky, where the retribution hung in orbit like a predator waiting to strike. But Earth? We never forgot. We refined it into an art form. The rescue of Kepler, 442b became a turning point. The Council, after centuries of pacifism, finally understood why evolution had been so cruel to humanity. It had created the galaxy's guardians, a species crazy enough to charge into singularity weapons, fast enough to save hostages from hardened raiders, and ruthless enough to ensure such raids never happened again. The Zinthri would remember the day they called for help and received monsters. Monsters that saved them. Epilogue. 6 months later, Daniel reviewed the after-action report, while Jassy piloted them toward their next assignment. Another distress call, another species that needed Earth's particular brand of salvation. You know what the weird part is? Daniel said, the Council races think we're heroes now. They write songs about us. They call us saviors. Jassy checked their trajectory calculations. And we're just doing what we've always done. Surviving. Protecting our tribe. Destroying threats. Maybe that's what heroes are, Jassy said quietly. Just survivors from a world that never gave them any other choice. The retribution jumped to FTL, carrying humanity's wrath toward the next battle in an endless war to protect a galaxy that had forgotten how to protect itself.